The Star Wars movies might just be the most analyzed, documented, and discussed science fiction franchise ever created. And yet, there's still so much about the films that even the most diehard fans don't know. Do you think that you know everything? Because there are always scenes that'll escape you and you'll only notice them a few months or years later. But trust me, Patrol Clip can find things that will surprise you. Star Wars has always had a lot of scrutiny for audiences, and with how confusing the different sagas became, and it's not uncommon for there to always be debate among the fans. Even if you consider yourself a Jedi master of the Star Wars trivia, a certified historian of all things Skywalker and Solo, there are likely a few jaw-dropping tidbits that'll still be news to you, and here are 10 of them. R2-D2 spoke English? The R2-D2 we all know and love from the Star Wars movies speaks only in beeps and whistles, a robot language that most of his friends can understand. But in the original draft of Star Wars, written in 1974, R2-D2 spoke in complete sentences. Even more alarming is he was not the lovable goof he would later become. He was actually kind of a bully, reproaching his pal C-3PO with insults like, "You're a mindless, useless philosopher," and "You're nothing more than a dim-witted, emotion-brained intellectual. Why were you created is beyond my logic systems." Like, damn, R2, take it down a notch, huh? I kinda wonder if he had to download an English app. Luke Skywalker turns evil. Can you imagine that? Now that was supposed to be the ending of Return of the Jedi. What a happy ending that'd be. As we know, the dark side is defeated and all of our favorite characters survive. However, according to J.W. Rinsler's Behind the Scenes Tell-All, The Making of Star Wars The Return of the Jedi, the original tome about how Episode 4 was made, that wasn't the original idea. In early story meetings, writer-director George Lucas considered an ending for Return of the Jedi that was much, much darker. As he pitched it to co-writer Lawrence Kasdan, Luke takes his mask off. The mask is the very last thing, and then Luke puts it on and says, "Now I am Vader. Surprise! The ultimate twist. Now I will go and kill the rebel fleet, and I will rule the universe." Kasdan actually loved the idea, telling his boss, "That's what I think should happen." But Lucas ultimately decided to go a different way, feeling like Luke going evil was a bit too dark since his franchise is for kids. Obviously, we don't know what the consequences of this change would have been, but could you imagine Luke in battle with lightsabers with Yoda? Oh, man. I mean, I don't know about you, but my money's still on Yoda. Boba Fett first appeared in a country fair parade. Most people believe that the legendary bounty hunter Boba Fett first appeared in 1980's Empire Strikes Back. Now, the most hardcore fans know that it happened a bit earlier in the much-maligned Star Wars Holiday Special in 1978, but they're wrong too. His history actually goes back even a little further than that. The first time anyone ever set eyes on Boba Fett was on September 24th, 1978, during the San Anselmo County Fair Parade in California. Now, your atypical parades would usually consist of high school bands and corn princesses and floats, not necessarily flamethrowers and jetpacks and helmets. So what was Boba Fett doing in a parade in a small city 20 miles north of San Francisco? Well, it so happens the townspeople were only lucky enough to get an advanced look at what would become one of the Star Wars most beloved baddies because they shared a zip code with 52 Parkway, the original headquarters of Lucasfilm. Duane Dunham, an assistant film editor for Lucas who wore the suit, said in an interview that he and a guy dressed as Darth Vader were at the front end of the parade. He went on to say that, "We were leading the whole thing, we just walked side by side down the street. It was a little funny." He had also recalled that there weren't many people at the parade before he added, "I don't think any press outside the San Anselmo newspaper covered it in any way." Lucky bounty hunter. A lightsaber engraved with a bad word. While doing an interview on BBC's The Graham Norton Show, Samuel L. Jackson insisted that he still owned the purple lightsaber that his character Mace Windu used in some pretty epic battles in the Star Wars prequels. But the most shocking revelation is what Jackson claimed was engraved on his lightsaber with an obscenity which, yeah, it's not suitable for young children.
The real one at home that has bad mother.
Of course, any longtime follower of Jackson's career could probably guess what it is, and know that he's not lying. As you may recall, back in 1994, Jackson appeared in Quentin Tarantino's Pulp Fiction, where he played an enlightened hitman named Jules Winfield, whose wallet is embroidered with the same words. Ah, good old Samuel L. Mother Bleepin' Jackson.
Darth Vader banned from Star Wars events.
When we think of Darth Vader, the first name that comes to mind is James Earl Jones, the voice behind the series' most infamous villain. But the man in the costume was somebody else entirely different, a British bodybuilder named David Prowse. And apparently, Prowse isn't among Lucas's favorite people. As Prowse revealed on his website, which has since been taken down, he's been banned from all Lucasfilm-associated events, which includes conventions and other Star Wars celebrations. When he reached out for an explanation, Prowse said that he was told that I have burnt too many bridges between Lucasfilm and myself. No other reason given. Lucas declined to elaborate, but rumors were all over the place, with many believing that Prowse was a bit too vocal about his displeasure in learning that another actor, Sebastian Shaw, would be used for the Vader unmasking scene. Sorry, David, but you're the first villain. Monkey Yoda? Long before Yoda was created with animatronics and puppetry by master puppeteer Frank Oz, the plan was to hire an actual actor, a simian actor, in fact. According to the making of Star Wars Empire Strikes Back, they had planned to dress up a real monkey in a Yoda costume and mask. There are photos of the monkey in training and the weirdly hideous Yoda mask prototype. Luckily, a crew member who'd previously worked on 2001: A Space Odyssey pointed out that the apes used in that movie's opening were a huge headache, which was enough to convince Empire's filmmakers to fire their Yoda monkey. I mean, could you imagine a primate using the Force? Interesting. Alright, no monkey business. You stay right where you are, because we still got more to come. The first Star Wars almost caused an actual war. To create the barren desert planet of Tatooine, Lucas found the perfect setting in Tunisia. But what he didn't count on was how even a little movie production could lead to socio-political tensions. Tunisia shares a border with Libya, which at the time was ruled by ruthless dictator Muammar Gaddafi. The Tunisian government received threats from Gaddafi, warning that a conflict was inevitable if they did not remove a military vehicle from the Libyan border. The quote-unquote military vehicle in question was actually a Jawa sandcrawler, a huge treaded fortress used by Jawas as transportation and shelter. The sand-pitted vehicles, many meters in height, are equipped with a magnetic suction tube for sucking droids and scrap into their cargo chambers. Lucas agreed to move the vehicle because, well, inciting an international incident isn't exactly a great way to publicize a movie. But then again, George, you could have had a real Imperial fleet on film. Is it a bear or a Chewbacca? Along the redwood forest of Northern California, the Star Wars cast and crew had a lot to endure during the creation of the forest moon of Endor for Return of the Jedi. That is, except for actor Peter Mayhew, who played Chewbacca. During the several-month shoot, he had to be constantly chaperoned by bodyguards in bright vests to protect him from hunters. And that's because, in costume, Mayhew could have easily been mistaken for a bear. But even more hilariously is that the bodyguards had to protect the actor from people searching the forest for Bigfoot. Yes, that Bigfoot. As in the mythical ape-like creature that's rumored to be hiding somewhere in the Pacific Northwest. Now, we might have been inclined to believe that this was just another tall tale, but Mayhew himself actually confirmed the story on social media. Oh no, Chewie! You've been spotted! ObiWan hated Star Wars. The great actor Sir Alec Guinness was accustomed to performing Shakespeare before he signed on to play Obi-Wan Kenobi. And according to many accounts, he hated it. In a letter to friends, as obtained by Mashable, Guinness complained that new rubbish dialogue reaches me every other day on wages of pink paper. None of it makes my character clear or even bearable. What's more, in an anecdote shared in his autobiography, A Positively Final Appearance, Guinness recalls meeting a young fan who asked for an autograph and claimed he'd seen Star Wars 100 times. He agreed to give the child an autograph, but only if he never watched the movie again. Wait, what? Guinness wrote, "He bursted into tears. I just hope the lad, now in his 30s, is not living in a fantasy world of second-hand childish banalities." Sounds more like Mr. Guinness was on the dark side from the get-go. Nsync was originally in Attack of the Clones. As a request by Lucas's daughter, he had invited members of the boy band Nsync to make a brief cameo in the prequel Attack of the Clones on a break from their 2001 Pop Odyssey tour. Lance Bass and Justin Timberlake opted to pass on the opportunity, but the rest of the band agreed to be suited up as Jedi Knights. They even took part in an actual battle, fighting droids in the climactic Geonosis battle. Joey Fatone remembered that the only direction they were given was to pretend like you're fighting droids. Sadly, or maybe not so sadly, we'll never know if they were convincing as Jedi, as their scenes were cut from the final edit. Bye, I guess. Well, that's all for this video. If you happen to find more curious facts about the Star Wars saga, make sure you drop them in the comments below, and don't you forget to subscribe to Patrol Clip. And until next time.